That investigation is now complete. The central findings of the investigation are that the man whose voice is heard on the recording and on a second recording from the same conversation that was released on Sunday, accordingly, effective immediately, I am banning.
Effective immediately, I am banning. That's all it took. One sentence. And just like that, Brittney Griner, one of the most recognizable names in the WNBA, is gone. Not suspended, not fined. Banned for life. Adam Silver dropped the mic in the most incendiary news conference we've seen in years, and admirers are questioning, what the hell happened? Did Griner rig games? Was she pulling strings with refs? Or is this something deeper? Something the league doesn't want you to know. Because the more you dig, the messier it gets. Scandal, audio leaks, secret testimonies, and even speculations regarding her identity. You best buckle up. We're breaking it all down. All right, let's start with how this whole thing exploded. Adam Silver walks into an emergency press conference and just drops a bomb. Effective immediately, Brittney Griner is banned from the WNBA for life. No build-up, no warm-up, just pure fire. You could hear the mouths hit the floor. Griner wasn't just a player. She was the face of the league for years. Olympic gold medals, All-Star games, international attention, she's done it all. And now she's erased. But Silver wasn't fooling around. He claimed the league did a detailed internal investigation, and what they found was too huge to ignore. Several rule infractions, off-court drama, and worse, suspected involvement in a full-blown corruption case. He remarked, and I quote, "There is no place in basketball for actions that compromise the integrity of the game. Who, so what, precisely did they find? What went so wrong that Silver had to hand down the toughest punishment possible?" Let's go into it, because it wasn't just one mistake. It was a mountain of red flags that ultimately toppled. Before we rip anything apart, let's remember who we're talking about. Brittney Griner was in the WNBA. She was the dunking, shot-blocking crowd favorite, a two-time Olympic champion, a walking billboard for women's basketball. You'd see her in Nike advertisements, hosting camps, and promoting Team USA. She was everywhere. And now she's out. No farewell tours, no warning, just blacklisted. So, how do you go from being the league's poster child to being completely cut off? Turns out this wasn't just about what she did recently. There were whispers going around for a long time. Locker room drama, trouble with teammates, and stories of her clashing with refs. And then things started building up. Skipping team protocols, and questionable off-court behavior. And suddenly, people in the league weren't so quiet anymore. But the league ignored it for a while. Why? Because Griner brought eyeballs. She sold tickets until she didn't, until the headlines got too loud, and Silver decided it was time to sever the cord. Just like that, the league turned the page on one of its brightest talents. Crazy, right? But we're just getting started. Here's where things get extremely messy. This isn't just a drama story. This is a full-on corruption scandal. According to league insiders, Griner was allegedly related to initiatives that tampered with actual games. Yeah, manipulating matchups, influencing refs, and swinging momentum when it counted most. How well? Perhaps she had more pull behind the scenes than we believed. Whispers about her communicating to refs, or influencing the ambience in the locker room, were only the beginning. But when playoff races got tight, and games started looking a little too scripted, the red flags started waving. Silver brought in investigators, and that's when it all came crashing down. Officials were suspended, execs were sacked, and Britt's name was supposedly all over the place. Texts, emails, and recordings. This wasn't just attitude or ego. This was about controlling outcomes. You mess with the competition, you screw with the whole league. And Silver wasn't about to let that slide. Let me ask you, do you think a player should ever have that kind of influence? Because if even half of this is accurate, it changes everything we thought we understood about WNBA integrity. So, here's a big question. If all this was going on, where the hell was the commissioner? Kathy Engelbert was supposed to keep the league clean, right? Instead, she's right in the thick of this catastrophe. According to insiders, Engelbert had knowledge of the drama long before Silver stepped in. There were warnings, emails, and silent protests from athletes. And what did she do? Apparently, nothing. Some think she sought to protect the WNBA's image. Others believe she just didn't want to go up against Griner. Either way, her silence made everything worse. Now she's under internal scrutiny, fans are clamoring for her resignation, and Silver's crew, they've taken over the disciplinary procedure. That's how bad it got. It's not just about one player. This scandal revealed a system that allowed this kind of stuff to thrive unfettered. What happens when the commissioner prioritizes PR over accountability? You receive this. You get anarchy. And now, the league is trying to clean up a situation it helped create. This whole thing might have been kept concealed if it weren't for a few bold players who declared enough is enough. Names started appearing. Big names, Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham. These aren't role players. These are future leaders of the league. They apparently provided closed-door interviews to league investigators, and what they disclosed was straight-up stunning. They talked about games where the refs seemed off. One thing's for sure, this story isn't over. So, we'll keep asking the questions they won't. And we want to hear from you. Was the prohibition justified? Is the league being honest? Or is this really a greater cover-up that eventually cracked wide open? Drop your opinions in the comments. And if you want the truth, not the PR spin, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell.